your take on the data breach that happened with the pretty much. I think it's the #1 app in the App Store right now. Let me go ahead and share my screen, and I want to get your take on it because I think it's kind of funny. I saw somebody blaming on vibe code culture. That vibe code culture is leading to a lot of security vulnerabilities. So there's this anonymous dating app that people are using for advice, and apparently on Friday they suffered a massive data breach, which gave hackers access to 72,000 images. What happened here?
It's exactly what you said. Everybody's a developer now, right? And so vibe coding, for those who aren't familiar with what vibe coding is, vibe coding means it was a term coined by Andrei Karpathy, who's one of the best minds of AI. But even he said, look, this is great. It can write the code. You still need architects to review everything you're doing, and you still have to follow best practices. This is an example of somebody who jumped in, grabbed one of the latest vibe code tools, and there's a lot of them, and they are fun. Go use them. I encourage people to use them, but you don't just take that code and slap it into production. You don't do that any more than you would go take a legal brief that ChatGPT gave to you and throw it before the Supreme Court, right? Like, as absurd as that sounds, this is what these people are doing. They're going in their vibe coding to have it build tools for them. Then they're not even having these checked against sound engineering practices, which have been around for 3 decades at this point, to put things into production. They're not following any of that. And they're like, woohoo, I can code. Let's put it in the App Store. And sure enough, they got breached. Surprise.
And do you know, it seems like a fairly easy, like it didn't seem like a very intense hack, like you're hacking the Pentagon or something like that. It seemed like fairly mundane that they just left an exposed API. Do you know technically what happened?
Yeah, it's really simple. So you have your app, and it communicates to the backend server via what's called an API, an application programmable interface, right? And so your API is how your applications communicate to their servers. What it means is they're APIs, and there's some standard protocols for building those APIs where you authenticate every single request, so you know who's making that call. They'd left a bunch of them unexposed. This is like engineering 101. Like, this is like, I mean, this would be like a bank who's like, yeah, sure, we let anybody come in and touch the teller. Like, it's just kind of, it sounds that dumb if you're an engineer. And so the fact that they would put this into production just shows how much it goes right back to that part again, right? Malcolm saying, hey, you were so, interested in the fact that you could do it. You didn't think of if you should. And this is that example where dinosaur just ate somebody.
Yeah. Terrible. You hate to see data breaches, but it's a hard lesson to learn.